Christian life coaching. I did 16 weeks, got certified for Christian life coaching, and that program in itself took me through there. Like, that even unlocked a lot more healing that I didn't even know I needed, just learning about Christian life coaching and learning about like how I wanted to pursue that and how I wanted to structure my services, all of that, right? So I did that. As soon as I was done with the program and got my certification, I jumped straight into it. Let's go ahead and get this started. Who needs healing? Come on, anybody? Is there one? Is there one? But I quickly learned, once I started to mash together what I known about Christian life coaching, and I was talking to women, but then I'm like, you know what, let's just go ahead and do it on a podcast, because I don't want to have only services that people can't afford. So let's do all this on a podcast. So I started talking to a lot of amazing women, y'all. And I still was very anointed. I was still seated where I was supposed to be. It felt right, but it felt heavy. And one thing about God, he is not going to put me in a position where I feel like I'm carrying it on my own. And as soon as I started to feel like, girl, you were carrying it on your own, I had to let it go, because I'm not going to play with God like that, and I'm not going to play with people like that. Being broken, being confused about your identity is putting you in a space where you are so vulnerable, y'all. And the devil preys on vulnerability, and he preys on people that don't know who they are. So the moment I felt like I didn't have God holding me up and giving me what I needed to pour into these women, I backed out of everything, y'all. From the podcasting, from the coaching, from the Christian content, I backed out of everything. I'm like, yo, so maybe I'm just not the Christian I thought I was. Like, God don't want me talking to his kids. That's crazy. I thought I was cool. Anyway, God sat me down, and then he made me go through a whole phase of discovering who I am. One thing that I learned throughout that journey is, I took it as rejection at first, because I felt like God sat me down because I was out of order. But really, God sat me down and showed me that you still have some healing to do. Otherwise, you're going to be bleeding on everybody. Because as I'm talking to people, I'm starting to see myself in them. So I'm responding out of a place of, that part of me is not healed. But I want to tell you what I think you want to hear, and I want to tell you something to make you feel good. But God is not always in the business of just making people feel good. He wants to heal that, right? So how am I going to heal you? And God is still pouring, but at the same time, God made me recognize, girl, you still need to be healed there. So let's sit down and let's work on you. A part of that was, I reject a lot of who I am. Like, I'm not going to lie, and I've always known that I carried something. Like, I carried a certain anointing. I carried something that I could never put words in. I could never put words to, but I was very much aware of it, right? But as I was sitting and trying to discover me, God was just showing me like parts of me. Like, girl, you always sat this down because you thought you had to sit that down to be accepted by me. Like, every time you came to me and like, God, I'm going to give you all of me, you left something out, whether it's your sense of humor, your personality. You kept leaving things out and coming to me incomplete, saying, God, use me. I cannot use the parts that you decide to hand to me, because I made you the way that I need you and the way that I want to use you, right? But I knew that the way that I talk, the way that I move, the way that I explain things, the way that I see things, it does not look like what other people are doing. So I kept rejecting me. I don't see personalities, right? I don't see charisma. I don't see a sense of humor. I'm just a clown. I say what I want. I'm raw. Like, but at the same time, I'm so rooted in God. But that's not something that I see. So I'm like, yo, this could never be. So I kept going in different rooms. If I'm in a room with the people that don't know God, I feel too holy. But if I'm in a room where the people are super holy, I feel like I'm too dirty. Like, I don't know how, I cannot be boxed in. I don't know how to be boxed in. Y'all, every room, I just felt like I didn't belong. But I also learned to be a chameleon. Like, every room I go in, I'm going to turn into a different person. Like, you want to see this side of me, you're going to get that. You want to see this, you're going to get that. But if all them people come together like, yo, Janice is the type of person, the person that was in another room, they're going to be like, really? I didn't know that girl talk. I didn't know she was funny. I didn't know she was holy. I didn't know she can rap. Like, all right, whatever. Anywho. But I started to compartmentalize myself into every single room until finally, when God made me put all of me together, I realized I'm not able to